everybody, and welcome to Blue Jays Today, where your boys always have something to say about the Toronto Blue Jays, and there is a lot of big Toronto Blue Jays news to be discussed in this one, everybody. We got some All-Star updates, we got some trade and some signing rumors, and we have a big week ahead for the Blue Jays in terms of opponents and in terms of just like long-term season outlook. This week means a lot, guys. I'm your host, Nicholas Playalog.
Yeah, I'm your host, Adam Peddlin. Yeah, we got to break down what happened this week because it was a good week, a very interesting week. Lots of drama, a lot of changes to the roster, that's for sure.
Oh my God.
You had a week where Alek Manoah was sent to the Florida Complex League.
That is crazy. That feels like 1,000 years ago.
It does, right? That was like on Tuesday, after you had a horrible start against Houston Astros.
Yeah.
And then you had the whole Anthony Bass thing getting DFA'd on Friday. We're not even going to touch on that this video. I feel like we've exercised that storyline
You know what? There's nothing more to be said at this point, right? Like, he's gone. Blue Jays are moving on. I think the Mets claimed him.
Is that what happened?
I think that's what happened, guys. Correct me in the chat, folks, but I'm pretty sure that the Mets claimed him. So you had Alek Manoah leave, you had Anthony Bass go, you had a big series win against Houston, then you were facing a sweep against
the Twins.
And then you had the most unlikely heroes of all heroes in Cavan Biggio, man. This week was absolutely wild, folks. We need to break down all of it. Before we do, we have to take a look at the All-Star Game, guys.
Man.
Toronto Blue Jays are dominating the All-Star Game right now, and there's definitely a little bit of controversy surrounding whether or not they should be, right? You got Matt Chapman, you got Bo Bichette, and you also have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. all right now leading in their respective positions. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say I think that it is justified. They're popular. They are good players. But an All-Star Game should be determined on what are you doing right now this season. And Bo Bichette, rightfully so. I would not be surprised to see Bo Bichette getting a starting job. You have Wander Franco from the Tampa Bay Rays, which a lot of people think, I think Wander deserves a good chance to start an All-Star Game, but Bo Bichette is leading the American League in average, he's been really good for the Blue Jays, so I get that.
That one's more like a coin flip to me, you could go either. I think there's strong arguments to be had on both sides.
Absolutely. You got Yandy Diaz, or not Yandy Diaz, excuse me, you got a Wander with all the stolen bases.
22 stolen bags.
That's a lot of stolen bases,
there you go.
Right? Incredible. Then you have Matt Chapman at third base, who was the player of the month for April, which was really, really good. But then you have some other guys around the league, like you got Jose Ramirez starting to pick it up, and then who was the other guy that you were?
You got Rafael Devers, 52 RBIs.
That's a lot of RBIs.
That's a lot of production.
That's a lot.
Right? I mean, that one's also a little bit closer. But I can see the narrative. I can see the narrative, right? And again, too, you got to talk about Matt Chapman's defense. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. The one here that I think that has Twitter kind of up in arms right now, especially if you're not a Toronto Blue Jays fan, is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And we even have somebody in the chat right now saying, no offense, but Vlad doesn't deserve it this year. And I'll be honest, guys. I love Guerrero. We have Guerrero's jersey right up there. It's literally right there. This is our guy, and I want him to be a Toronto Blue Jay forever. But I also really love baseball, and I love the integrity of baseball, and I love when I get to look at somebody's baseball reference page, and I get to see how many All-Star games, how many accolades, and I want it to mean something.
I know.
I really badly want it to mean something, man. And Guerrero's having a good year.
No, he is.
But there is somebody else that is doing just so much better than him right now.
Yeah. Let's take a look at it, guys. Let's first look at Vladdy's numbers right here. Where, good year. Vladdy's having a good year for any other player who is an MLB, who's an MLB player. You're batting 286 or 283, excuse me.
Yeah.
You got an 800 OPS. You're getting on base for 353. You're doing pretty good. But we all hold Vladdy to a higher expectation. I think as fans who are doing the voting are holding him to a higher expectation. And one guy, which you're referencing right now, Nick, who's getting slept on, that's Yandy Diaz.
Yeah.
He is getting absolutely slept on this year on the Tampa Bay Rays. His batting average is higher than Guerrero. His on base is higher than Guerrero. His OPS is higher than Guerrero. Hell, I think he's got even more home runs than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's got more RBIs than Vladimir Guerrero Jr., more runs scored than Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So the question for me is, is the All-Star game now kind of fraudulent? I mean, the guys who are getting that accolade that you were referencing, is that just a weak accolade now that doesn't mean anything?
I don't think that it's just now, though. I think it's been for quite a while, right? You know that the All-Star game is more of a popularity contest than anything else, right? If you had Aaron Judge and you had Joe Smith, and they were batting the exact same,
right?
Aaron Judge is going to the All-Star game, and Joe Smith isn't even getting a second look, right? And I think that you're seeing that happen literally right here. It's just tough when, in this case, our Joe Smith, which is Yandy Diaz, is not batting the same as Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Yeah. He's batting significantly better, right? And as much as I want Guerrero to go to the All-Star game, I do want him to earn it. And I want to see that accolade, and I want to go, you know what? Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was an All-Star that year. He did deserve that. And I do feel for those Tampa Bay Ray fans out there, the few and far between that you are, and those other baseball fans that are kind of looking at this and thinking to themselves, why is this happening? We agree, probably Yandy Diaz's spot.
I agree. And honestly, and I feel kind of bad. Like, I almost feel bad sending Guerrero to the game. Honestly, I kind of feel embarrassed. You know what I mean?
Because, I understand what you're saying.
Everybody is saying he doesn't deserve it. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, he totally does not deserve it. So I really do think that some change in the future needs to happen, but I don't think that's going to come anytime soon, because it's just not really like worthy of a change. Like, no, MLB is not going to do that. Like, I think they're going to want to still encourage their fans to vote and engage, rather than, I think maybe they should vote for like a top 3 or something like those, and then maybe based on just like a committee. You know what I mean? Well, and make a vote.
There is one very easy way for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to fix all of this, and that is to have a freaking massive remaining month of June. Yeah. Smack 10 home runs, smack a home run a day. You can go to the All-Star game, bro.
Hey, we're on the road now. Maybe you can hit a couple more home runs.
Literally, because clearly he cannot do it at home. 109 people watching right now, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please hit the like button if you haven't already done so. Now let's move on to some news that I think a lot of Blue Jays fans are going to be very happy to hear. We started off this video, we were talking about Alek Manoah being sent down, Anthony Bass being DFA'd. Those are 2 pitchers, and even though they were not performing to the caliber which we thought that they were going to be performing when we entered this year, that's still 2 arms that we do not have anymore. And I have been screaming at the top of my lungs, a lot of Blue Jays fans have, we need more pitching, even before those guys get sent down.
I agree.
Thankfully, it looks like the Toronto Blue Jays do agree with us. Ben Nicholson-Smith came out here earlier this week and effectively said that they are looking for them, and those, I guess, it has intensified those discussions over the last several weeks. So clearly, Ross Atkins, Mark Shapiro, they see the writing on the wall, and they know that a bullpen day every 5 days, probably not the way to go.
Dude, if I've learned anything, and I know a lot of heat is being right now thrown at Ross Atkins for being a general manager and like not managing his team well enough. One thing I will admit is when there's a problem, he goes out and fixes it. I think back to 2021, even 2020 during COVID year.
Right.
We needed starting pitching in that COVID year. He went out and got it. In 2021, we needed bullpen. He went out and got it. Yep. Simber Richards at the time, really great bullpen arms. And then you go into 20, and even he even got Jose Barrios. Sure. We really needed a long-term guy, a guy in the middle of his career who is qualified. Yeah. Right. Someone who has a track record to put up good performances. So, like last year's trade deadline, kind of underwhelming. Let's be honest. Yep. It was kind of underwhelming. I think this is the final year for the big push. And I think with Manoah going down, is kind of the alarm bells are going to be ringing. And I'm glad that we're already starting to get on the phone. Now, I don't know when it's going to happen. Honestly, I feel like it could happen between now and like the next couple of weeks. Because having bullpen days consecutively against these great teams that we're going to talk about a little bit later in this video, that's not a winning formula at all.
No, it's not a winning formula, guys. It's not a winning formula at all. And even though the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen has actually been relatively good this year, I mean, better than in years past. I think we're ranked 10th right now in bullpen ERA. Yeah. I mean, that's nothing to scoff at, right? That's pretty good. The big problem is, though, when you start pitching these guys more than they're accustomed to, and now you're getting them out of that rhythm, does that number start to drop, right? And now, because, you have all these bullpen days, well, we used Trevor Richards in this day, we used him in this other day. Now you get forced in this situation where if the following day somebody blows up, you can't use that arm anymore. And we were kind of running into that problem this past Sunday with Kevin Gausman.
That's right.
I don't think that this is a sustainable way of winning for us. I think we can get away with it for maybe like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. And they're going to be doing that whole thing where they're kind of pinballing people up and down. You saw Bowden Francis come up and then whoop, right back down,
exactly.
right? I could see that happening, kind of back and forth a little bit. But that's not a long-term solution here, guys. We do need to go out and acquire some guys.
No, we definitely do. And there is an interesting rumor kind of out there. We talked about it in a podcast, actually, last week, talking about some potential trade targets. And we did mention Marcus Stroman. He was in the thumbnail. He was the first guy that we mentioned for obvious reasons. You know, we all love, Marcus Stroman as a former Jay. And maybe you love him or hate him. Like, I feel like you're either split on one or the other. But point being is Marcus Stroman feels like he still loves the city of Toronto, and there's a really interesting tweet that we wanted to show you here. Shout out to the Leafs and Jays fan 97 who tagged us in this tweet. They tweeted out saying something here, saying enough time has passed, things have happened, the price is right, given the current construction of the teams and direction they're in. I'd gladly welcome back Stroh to the Jays if their trade was to be made, because that would be a lethal combo having Gosman, Bassett, Burrios. That would be really, really huge with him in there. But then guess who liked it, everybody? The guy, the man, the legend himself, Marcus Stroman. He liked up this tweet. What does this mean, Nick? Does this mean that Marcus could potentially come back to the Toronto Blue Jays?
Oh, locked in. Guaranteed.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed, bro.
Oh, yeah.
I would love this, man. I would absolutely love this, and I think it would be such an incredible redemption story for him to come back. Can you imagine if he came back and we did go on a serious run, and we did get past the ALCS? I mean, this is all fantasy land now, right? But it's like, what an incredible story for Marcus Stroman to come back to the city, and I do think that absolutely everybody is over what happened back in the day, the little Twitter beef that went back and forth. Everyone would love him. He would get standing ovations every time he walked into the mound, man. This would be phenomenal. And I think that the energy that Marcus Stroman would bring to this ball team, let alone the stats, right? Because the stats are incredible this season, and he would automatically slot in just from an ERA standpoint, literally as our number one, he would be one of those top three guys for sure. But just off of the field, the mentality and the just like the disposition of attack, that is what I get from Marcus Stroman.
The competitiveness. You know what I mean?
100%, dude. Like, he is in it to win it. And I feel like if he comes back to Toronto, that would be just like the catalyst to start the fire of win mentality that we need, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, you could, again, like I said, love him or hate him. He's a winner.
Yes.
Like, he wants to win. And I think that would, like you're kind of saying there, it would rejuvenate him. You're in Chicago. You've been in Chicago for a couple of years. You're not really winning many ball games over there. But man, to come back to the city where it all started and go on a run.
I think it wouldn't just rejuvenate him, but I think it would rejuvenate us.
It would rejuvenate everybody.
Like from a team standpoint, to see him come in and just automatically start calling some of the shots, it's like, all right, man, like this is it. Like we just got our ace now. This is our David Price of this year, man. Right? I mean, this is our David Price. Now we go on the run.
2015 all over again.
100%, dude.
It's crazy. It's a great storyline, as him coming up as a rookie. Now he's coming back as a veteran.
Yeah.
He's been around the league. He's pitching big games, pitching the World Baseball Classic. Stroman, if you're out there listening to this, man, come on. Talk to your agent. Get him on the phone with Ross Atkins. We want it to happen.
Well, I'll be completely honest, guys. I guarantee that they are going to talk.
Oh, yeah.
I do think that the reality of this is absolutely on the lower spectrum of things, just because there's going to be so many suitors, right? Like, everybody wants to take Marcus Stroman to prom. So, like, you got to really have a good pitch if you want to do it, So, the Blue Jays are going to get on the phone. They're going to talk about it. But what I love to see is that regardless of whether or not we get Marcus Stroman, the talks have intensified to bring people in, and I would not be shocked in the slightest if in the next week, if in the next 2 weeks, maybe some smaller guys. Maybe some smaller guys. You know what I mean? Some dudes that you don't really need to go out and you need to pay an arm for, or a leg for. Even the Zach Plesac's of the world, you can just pick up and you can automatically bring in. I could totally see stuff like that going down.
For sure. And I really hope that what I thought you were going to get to there is I really hope in the next few weeks we get some, like, a rumor, like, Jays have called about Stroman.
Guaranteed.
Like, God, I would love that.
Guaranteed.
I would love
Guaranteed
that.
it.
I actually think I would, like, crap my pants if
100%.
I heard that. Because that's actually a reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's get it happen.
All right.
Let's get it happening, guys.
Let's take a look at the hero of this past week.
Not the J of the week.
Not
Spoiler.
the J of the week. Not the J of the week. But the savior of this past week, everybody. Some late inning heroics from Cavan Biggio, the unlikeliest of sources, man. I didn't think I'd ever get that hype for Cavan Biggio than I did yesterday. No. That's probably the hypest that I've ever gotten for him, and it will probably be the hypest that I ever get for him.
Yeah.
But credit where credit is due, man. Clutch Cavan, as the Toronto Blue Jays say right here. Do you think Cavan Biggio has earned himself a little bit more playing time?
Yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, yes. But it's hard to say unfortunately when he actually did so well for us. He got 2 hits in that game, including, obviously, the 3-run home run that won it for us. So, yeah, I mean, you're going to get playing time for sure. I mean, you know, Espinal's not playing as great as he is. Merrifield feels like an everyday player. So I feel like the next guy up on the totem pole is kind of being Cavan Biggio over Espinal right now, right? So, do I think that he's going to all of a sudden break out and we're going to see the Cavan Biggio of old? Like, no, guys, like, don't get fooled here.
Right.
I mean, it's all exciting and cool, but I'm still on the train of, like, Cavan Biggio would have to literally put up, like, good numbers. Like, I'm talking, like, 280 batting average, like, the rest of the season. Like, coming up with big, timely hits. The rest of the season, for me to go, you know, okay, you can stay one more year. Because I'm on the train of, like, still... You might need to cut him if Barger's knocking at the door.
Right.
If Aurelvis Martinez is starting to heat it up in AAA or in AA, excuse me. If he's knocking on the door next year, like I kind of want to swap that spot in the roster.
Yeah, I guess the way that I look at it right now is just simply because Espinal has not been the guy that I was hoping that he would be, and I think a lot of Blue Jays fans were hoping for. Yeah, absolutely. Keep playing, dude. Keep playing. Please. And if you can find a way to swing the bat like you did yesterday, by all means, get that bottom of the lineup humming, guys, because that's when we start winning games, is when the bottom of the lineup starts moving. Right now, when you look at the statistics, the middle of the order for the Blue Jays, kind of mid. You know, like they have not been great in the month of May and the month of June. You know, so if we can get that bottom of the lineup humming, and if Cavan Biggio can be a catalyst back there, by all means, keep going, dude. Keep freaking going.
Well, let's talk about that middle of the lineup a little bit right now. Let's reflect on this past week and see how the boys did. Let's talk about some standout performances right now. And yeah, like the whole lineup this week was kind of mid. Now, granted, we did have some really tough pitching. You know, you had the Houston Astros like entire rotation and bullpen, which is amazing. And then you had really hard matchups on the Twins with Gray and Joe Ryan. So right now, the Blue Jays overall in the week, there really is no standout performer. I mean, the only guy before he got hurt was Brandon Belt. You know, which you made a video on how he's just performing out of his skin.
Turned it around.
He's absolutely amazing. He went 5 for 17 this week with a home run, 2 RBIs, and you know, classic 7 strikeouts for Brandon Belt. But if you're hitting, you know, around 300, like we can afford it.
I'm allowed. You're allowing it. Yeah,
absolutely. And yeah, the only other standout, Biggio, like we said, but nothing really on the offense. The pitching, you know, I think the one really standout performance we got to give another just round of applause to is just like Chris Bassett. Remember when he went 8 innings? Only 2 run runs? We thought he was going to go the distance.
And he could have went the whole way.
He absolutely could have
went the whole way. That was a call from the manager. I mean, ultimately, it was the right call. But he could have went the entire way, man.
Absolutely. And honestly, that's kind of it, guys. We went 4-3 on this week, and we kind of touched on it a little bit. Really huge win to bounce back from win a series win to bounce back from that Alek Manoah start and win the next 3. That was very clutch. And 4-3 on the week. I don't really know any other thoughts in your mind on this past week. Just
I mean, I think the big thought for me is like, let's just go out and acquire starting pitching, because as you guys can as you can see, right, it's like who are our losses this week? It was Manoah. Then it was Manoah's spot, which was taken by the bullpen, who eventually blew it all up, and it was also Yusei Kikuchi. That was you know, like, can we attribute? There's a clear, you know, thing that's going on right here, guys. It's not a coincidence. Bad pitching equals L's. Good pitching equals W's. Get me more pitching.
Exactly. And you can kind of expect like a loss every now and then from Yusei Kikuchi. Also, total side note, I was just picking up numbers today. Kikuchi, 4.34 ERA so far in the season. Remember how we said before, man, if you could just pitch a 4.5, like, that'd be great.
No, I'll take that. I will take that, dude. I think the problem is when we were saying that, we didn't expect Alek Manoah to be in the minor leagues.
I know.
Because when we were saying that, I was like, well, Manoah's going to get 2.5, and like Gosman's going to get 2.5, right? So I just expected that they'd be there. I did not expect us to be like trying to get Trevor Richards, who, to his credit, actually was very good.
Phenomenal.
In the innings of work that he did. And actually, you know, when we look at that bullpen day, they were solid for the first 5 or so innings. Simber came in, he blew it up. You had Mitch White come in, he looked garbage. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is like, I'm concerned that by having this bullpen day, well, maybe this week it was Simber, maybe this week it was Mitch White, Next week, who's it going to be? Who's
right?
it going to be, right?
When you tax the bullpen, they get tired, you're going to blow up a few times.
It's going to happen.
You see it with the good guys, too. I've seen it with Swanson, even though he's been stellar.
Yeah.
I have noticed on the days where he pitches back-to-back, he's not as sharp. That's just...
His stuff just isn't as good.
It's what's going to happen.
100%.
You know?
With all that being said, though, everybody, we do need to announce the most coveted of awards, the J of the Week.
All right, and with everybody doing kind of mid this week, I mean, there was Chris Bassett, you had Cavan Biggio potentially, but he didn't really have enough ABs, but I wanted to look at the bullpen a little bit because they have been doing so good, and you know what? I think we got to give a big shout out to Jordan Romano right now. Jordan Romano's your J of the Week. Let's go. Let's go. And the reason why is because when you look at these saves, he got 3 saves this week. And you look at the saves that he did get, all one-run ball games, all very close. 3-2 against Houston, 3-2 against Houston, back-to-back days.
Yeah.
And then you had the save coming out against the Twins when we desperately needed another one-run lead. And he only gave up 1 hit, 1 walk in that time. So he's actually been solid, and we needed him to shut down the door because we needed those W's.
Exactly, right. Those are all tight games, guys. And in years prior, our bullpen blows it wide open. Jordan Romano came in, locked the door, and if he wasn't as good as he's been this past week, you know, maybe who knows? Maybe it's like 2-5 this week, right? Like, we don't know, right? Exactly. Because of him, we won 4 games.
You know, he just a sub-3 ERA, so you could expect, like, in a 1-run lead, like, to give up probably one of those, and he didn't. He didn't.
So above average performance there from Jordan Romano. Credit where credit is due. Let's take a look at this week coming up, folks, and let me tell you guys, this one could be arguably the hardest week that we've had all season long, guys. The competition is going to be tough. Off day today, which is absolutely crucial, because then you're flying to Baltimore, and you get 3 games against Baltimore, and after Baltimore, you're flying to Texas.
God.
And then, actually, to end the road trip, you're flying to Miami, and they're really good at baseball, too. So this is going to be a tough road trip for these Toronto Blue Jays.
Bro, if you were to ask me, like, back 2 years ago, like, hey, this is your road trip, I'm like, oh, we're getting W's now.
I'm thinking, like, we're going 7-2 in this stretch.
Yeah, for real.
Like, we are going to kick ass. But this season is a different animal. And every single one of those teams, I believe even Miami, has a better record than the Toronto Blue Jays do.
I think Miami might be around
it. It's very close. Yeah, it's very close. Somebody correct me in the chat if that is true or if that's not true, but they're damn tight, guys. So tough little road trip we got here. Explain the first series.
Yeah, so first of all, let's talk about those Orioles right now. The OPS is at 10th in MLB. This is what actually kind of baffled me. They have the 3rd best record in baseball with 10th in OPS, 15th in ERA. So, like, you look at those numbers and you're like, okay, you're like a wild card contender, you know? Maybe you're fighting. Right. No, they're deep and lodged into the wild card spot and in the AL East right now. It's because they're clutch and they know how to win baseball games. So right now, they don't have the pitching starters announced for the Orioles. I don't know if there's someone who's injured or they're doing some changes, but just based on last week and looking at what they were going to roll out for this week, we could expect Chris Bassett, who's obviously phenomenal, going up against Kramer. He's been kind of doo-doo this week. Actually, Kikuchi's been a lot better than him. Barrios on Wednesday, he's been very good. Great bounce back player. Got to make a video on him very soon. He's amazing. Yeah. Up against Bradish, not great, not bad. 4.2 and 25 ERA. Yeah. And then you got Yusei Kikuchi on the Thursday going up against Taylor Wells, who's been pretty good. 3.24 ERA. Yeah. We're on the road. We have an off day. What do you think, Nick?
Well, I'll be honest, man. Like, Baltimore Orioles pitching, you know, you were never going to say any good names there.
No,
there isn't a big pool of guys to go through, but it hasn't seemingly mattered for these folks. It really has not mattered, and their bullpen has been phenomenal. The way that they win games is they have their starter go 5 innings. Maybe they give up like 3 runs, but their offense keeps them in it, and then their bullpen locks the door, and they have some late inning heroics, and they win the game, right? So it's going to be tough, man. I don't see a reality right now where we walk into Baltimore and we take more than one. Like, it feels like this is going to be an L of a series, right?
I mean, I do see a reality. Like you really are asking for Bassett and Barrios to shut down the Orioles, which is a lot. That's a lot. They're really good. They're a really good offensive team, right? But again, we're on the road. Momentum not really in our favor in the last series. If I'm going to give an accurate prediction, I think we go 1-2 this week. But I do see a reality on the up. I don't think we ever sweep this series, but I could see a reality where we take 2, but we got to be, our bat's going to be popping off.
For sure.
Bat's going to be popping
off.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, this week's going to be a great week to know how can we compete with the top-tier competition? Because this is top-tier competition, and it's the type of competition that you might see come September, come October, when you're going for a playoff run.
I agree. And then you got the Rangers. Real quick turnover there. Actually, we do have a day game on Thursday, so they'll get some time to rest in between. Then you got the Rangers, yes, on the Friday, and that's going to be our bullpen day, folks. If we're going to make a trade in that time, probably likely not. Are we going to call someone up? Probably yes, to give us some bulk innings.
Yeah.
And we're going to be going up against Martin Perez, who hasn't been that good this year. 4.67 ERA. Okay. Then Saturday, we got the start of the good guys. We got Gosman. He's going to go up against Dane Dunning, who's pitching at 252 this year. And then on Sunday, you got Chris Bassett, who's going up against Sonny Gray, who's pitching at 232 this year.
Sonny Gray?
Oh, sorry, not Sonny Gray. John Gray. Excuse me, my bad.
Okay, yeah.
I'm so used to Sonny Gray just whooping us. So, John Gray, 232. So, even though we got our good pitchers, they've got their good pitchers, and the Texas Rangers offense is incredible. Ranked 3rd in baseball in OPS. You made a video on them on the other channel, on the Dugout Diaries, how they have the most clutch offense in baseball. What are your predictions on this week?
I'm having a hard time seeing us walk away with W's here, man. Like Texas, now that I've done some deep dives into the Texas Rangers and what they're doing right now this season, I have respect on that team. I have some serious respect on their name. They are good at baseball. They got some serious MVP candidates going on over there. I think Corey Seager right now is hitting close to he's getting close to 350 or
dude,
something.
he could be an all-star.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Actually,
we didn't even mention him.
We didn't even talk about this dude. Like, this guy's got an OPS close to 950 right now.
Yeah.
Just stupid. We win one, man.
We win one. I'm like, okay, we survived.
Yes.
Because it's gonna be a bloodbath on Saturday and Sunday.
Wow, we need to take 2 in Baltimore.
We do
have to take 2 in Baltimore, folks, because I just don't see us taking 2 to the Rangers, and I do not want to have a week where we go 2-4 because again, somebody did correct me in the chat. The Marlins do have a better record than we do.
That's crazy.
The Marlins have a better record than we do right now, so they are half a game better than us. They are second in their division. They're good at baseball.
Yeah.
Right. So it won't be easier after that too. So
the good thing is that this is kind of the final stretch, because then after that you get all of the good, the mid teams, the bad teams.
I mean, come on, this is better competition than what we've been going up against, guys. We're going to be going on a very good stretch before the All-Star game. You got Athletics, you got Giants, you got Red Sox, you got a bunch of other beatable teams. I think Detroit's in there. I think Kansas City is in there. So guys that you can beat. But this next week and a half is going to be tough, folks. If we can go 3-3 on the road against the 2nd and 3rd best record in the entire MLB, I will take it.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a test, but 2-4 is a prediction, and if we do that, what would our record be? Oh, God. It'd be 39 and 34.
Oh,
God damn.
I don't like the sound of that, man. I want to get to 40 wins by the end of this week.
Yeah, I want 40 wins. Yeah. I want 40 wins, guys.
I want 40 wins by the end of this week. I think we need to.
We need to.
We're
done. We're done.
Yeah. All right, everybody. It is time to get to the next segment of the show. But before we do, we need to shout out the sponsor of that segment.
Time for a quick shout out to Betway. Betway is the best place to make all of your sports bets on all of your favorite teams. Betway is also in collaboration with iGaming Ontario. Must be 19 years older to participate. And guys, please bet responsibly. Now, back to the content.
Spinning, fortune, baseball, colorful, future determining, stat analyzing, and it's a wheel that we spin every week.
It is, in fact, a wheel that we spin every single week. And you guys like to play along with us, and we freaking love it. Adam clawed his way back. He needed it. He was down bad. Still down bad.
I'm still down. 3 sweeps down.
3 sweeps down, so it would take you 3 weeks of absolutely annihilating to even tie.
I gotta put up a Nick week. A Nick month, actually. Nick couple months.
100%. 100%, dude. But still, you got 3 back. Yeah. That is very important.
Yeah, I know. And the home runs, home Vladdy still comes through. Not a single home run.
Dude,
you
can't pick him.
I can't pick him for home runs, but Bo Bichette, you certainly can. He had 2. Jay's killer. Alvarez, he had a 1,000 OPS in that stretch during that time at the Rogers Center. He killed it. And then batting average, Witt actually out-hit Bo Bichette. So there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, guys. Well, it is my week this week, so you guys let me know who we should be picking, everybody. Let's spin this wheel.
Let's go. Let's go. Guys.
I still have yet to spin bonus player for myself.
No, I know.
So I have a tendency not to do it.
It's going to pass it?
It's going to pass it for this one. Let's
it's
see.
actually coming. Nope. Home runs. Well,
again.
What do you think? Are you going to pick Vladdy? We're on the road.
Absolutely not, bro. I'm absolutely not going to pick Guerrero, even in the slightest. Who did what last past week?
Yeah, okay.
Bo went 2. Springer got 1. Chapman got 1.
Springer's on a bad option.
Herc got 1. Biggio got 1.
Yeah, I know. We just don't hit home runs, bro. I think there's a clear selection. I'm gonna let you go. You can take him. All right. I will double down and hit go Bobo.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the leader. He's the guy. Also, I didn't even record Varsho this week. I actually totally forgot. But Varsho, he's second on the team in home runs.
I'm not gonna pick Dalton Varsho.
What do you mean?
So. I will take George Springer here.
All right.
I will take George Springer and just hope for the best, guys. It's been a little while since we've had some Springer dingers, so
yeah,
this could be the week. This could be the week, guys.
All right.
All right, folks. And Michael, I was thinking about Brandon Belt, but I just don't know how his what the playing time's gonna look like.
Yeah, that's true. And he's hurt a little bit, so
that's the one thing.
Coming around. Are we gonna get home run
again?
Yeah, we gotta respin, everybody. Respin.
Let's go. Give me the bonus player. I put a little bit extra gas on it this time, so it might get there.
Wow, we should pick Biggio for home
runs.
It's coming close! Oh!
Let's go, let's go. I literally, I timed that one up, man.
Whoa.
All right.
All right.
Okay, big time category right here.
You are going to have to pick first. You'll pick, I pick, then you pick for this one.
Right.
And it's going to be... K per 9.
Okay, well,
all right, well, you obviously got to pick.
Obviously going to pick Kevin Gausman, number 1. That's easy.
All right, let me type this in. My computer's being
You're really going to
slow.
need to nail this one, man.
Yeah, I mean, because this feels pretty locked in. Who are the guys that get a lot of Ks? I know Burrios can get a lot of Ks from time. He has been a lot better. Bassett just does not strike people out. I will not be picking him.
We only have we have 4 starting pitchers.
Yeah.
So there's really I really think there's only one option for you here.
It is it's gonna be Jose Burrios for me. So
it's Jose Burrios, and then obviously I have to pick Yusei Kikuchi.
All right, that's literally it.
That's how it's gonna go, man. Because I can't pick Bassett, and who's gonna start for us? Trevor Richards.
Trevor Richards.
Yeah. Actually, Trevor Richards got like 7 Ks.
That's actually not a bad one.
Yeah, it's not a bad one, but I feel like that'd be kind of cheap.
Yeah,
so
yeah, exactly.
All right, everybody. Final category. I'm feeling pretty decent about that one. Feels like a lock, man.
That one does. Yeah. Anytime you pick Gausman, he's literally leading the league in strikeouts.
He is legitimately leading the league in strikeouts.
And the final category is. Ooh, that would have been a fun one.
I was really hoping to be Cavan Biggio because that one's so easy too.
That one's easy.
Batting average.
This is tough.
This one is kind of difficult, man. I mean, I feel like there's just no reality though where Whitmerfield is pretty good at it. He is pretty good at it, but I think I'm just gonna stick with Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
Gonna lock it in.
Not a bad idea.
I feel like the guy's hitting 317. So
he is. And do I double down and go Witt again? I mean, like I could go Springer, but that'd be kind of doing your thing.
Springer's not gonna hit for a better average though. I don't think that makes sense. Like I honestly feel like Witt's got to be.
Witt is the choice. Kiermaier's been kind of injured a little bit. Yeah, I feel honestly I'm gonna go Witt again.
It really does feel like Whit Merrifield is gonna be the guy there, man.
Back-to-back weeks. Back-to-back weeks.
Okay, everybody. So let us know in the comments who do you think is winning this week, guys. K per 9 feels like a lock, but the other two are absolute toss-ups.
Actually, not a bad one. Belt, but also playing time.
Again,
like,
it's the
is
playing
he hurt?
time. Yeah.
Like what's? I'm not really sure there.
Yeah, and you need to get at least. I think we decide you need to get at least 15 at-bats for these slash line stats just to qualify. So, folks, let us know in the comments down below your thoughts on literally everything that we talked about today, guys. The All-Star Game, Toronto Blue Jays going out intensifying the talks to make a trade this upcoming week. The wheel, literally everything, folks. Your thoughts in the comments down below.
Yeah, guys, remember $3 a month to become a Patreon member, and shout out to all of our Patreon members and our YouTube members. If you guys want to join that, it's in the description down below.
Thank you so much for watching,
and go Jays, go!